Dear students, we are now entering into the 9th session of this course on manufacturing strategy. So far in the previous sessions, we understood the meaning of manufacturing strategy, why there is an importance of functional role or need of functional dominance in the development of corporate strategy. We also discussed in our last session that what are the alternative ways in which we can understand the meaning of manufacturing strategy. We discussed different P's of manufacturing strategies, rather you can say these are the different perspectives of manufacturing strategy, and we also discussed the concept of world class manufacturing, which is the ultimate objective of manufacturing strategy. Finally, we discussed the contribution of two very important thinkers in the field of operations strategy. One is Skinner and others are Hayes and Wheelwright. So, after understanding all those concepts, now further how to practically implement manufacturing strategy. So, for that purpose we are going to discuss in this session that what are the alternative paradigms which are available through which you can implement manufacturing strategy. So, now starting this discussion on alternative paradigm, let us first understand that how organizations, how a company can go for winning the competition. Now, there are organizations which are trying to win competition on the basis of marketing. So, their primary focus is on their marketing strategy, because they feel that their competency lies in marketing of the products, how they can convince the customers to purchase their products. So, some of the organizations go for marketing related paradigms. That is one particular, rather in present circumstances, this is one of the most important dominating paradigms for the competition, that most of the organizations are outsourcing various activities. They are outsourcing the manufacturing, they are outsourcing the design, and they are only responsible for marketing of the products. In our present circumstances, if we see many FMCGs companies, fast moving consumer good companies are involved only in the marketing activities. They have outsourced their manufacturing to some smaller manufacturers, contract manufacturing. In pharmaceuticals also, companies are more into marketing and less into manufacturing. So, large number of companies which are in FMCG and pharma are particularly following the concept of marketing based competition. Their focus is on their marketing activities. There are companies which are focusing on their human resource. Their competitive edge is the technical skills available with their employees, with their personals, and largely the service sector, which is one of the most important contributor to the wealth creation of a nation. In that, many IT companies, many knowledge companies are coming up, and their competitive edge is the human resource. So, service sector, whether you go to lawyer, whether you go to doctor, whether you go to an architect, whether you go to an consultant, all these things are basically the part of service sector, and you go to a particular service organization because of the kind of human resource, because of the technical skills available with those resources. That is the important paradigm for their advantage. Then many companies compete on their ability of superior manufacturing. In fact, this is one paradigm which is of interest for us in this particular course, that how organizations compete on the basis of their manufacturing abilities. Now, various Japanese organizations, to start with Toyota. Now, in India, if I talk of Hero, then Maruti. These are the organizations which are competing on the basis of their superior manufacturing capabilities. So, they have no doubt other important functional activities also, but the primary driver of their competitive advantage or the competitive edge is the manufacturing focus. And there are many examples in other part of worlds also where organizations are competing on the basis of manufacturing dominance. There are organizations which are competing on the basis of their superior supply chain management. We have a very popular name, that is Walmart. The crux of their success is their ability to develop a very high performing supply chain. Another popular name, 7-Eleven. The reason of their success is their supply chain capabilities. And similarly, many more, like in India, if I talk of success of organizations like Amul, is because of their superior supply chain capabilities. So, there are organizations which are competing on the basis of their supply chain management also. They will have all other support functions, marketing, human resource, manufacturing, innovation and many other also, but the primary driver of their success is their supply chain abilities. Then organizations are also competing on the basis of their ability to innovate new products and ability to innovate new products at a faster rate. So, both these things are important when I am talking of competing on the basis of innovation. And one of the most popular name, Apple, is competing on their ability to innovate new products regularly. Another popular name, Samsung, ability to compete on the basis of innovation. Qualcomm, another very popular name, but all these names are following the same type of competitive advantage, that is their ability to innovate. So, we see that organizations are competing either on the basis of their superior marketing management or the specific type of talent they have, or their ability to produce or manufacture better products, or on the basis of their supply chain, on the basis of their ability to new products innovation, etc. Now, in this particular session we are more interested on the basis of manufacturing competition, that how organizations are competing or in how many different ways organizations can compete on the basis of their superior manufacturing capabilities. So, that is the important point of our discussion. Now, if I take that organizations are competing on the basis of their manufacturing abilities, so there are three alternative paradigms which are available to us. The one is on the basis of capabilities, then on the basis of strategic choices you make, and on the basis of best practices you follow. The first, that is the competing through capabilities, this is very much related to resource based view of the organization. You are competing on the basis of resources available to you. Many a times the meaning of resource is related to kind of capital you have, kind of technology you have, but here in this particular discussion of manufacturing paradigm, I am relating the resource with respect to capabilities, that my resources are my capabilities, that what type of superior capabilities I have, that is a very important asset, that is a very important resource, and now I will be competing using these capabilities or using these resources. So, that is the first type of paradigm I am having. Now, when I am competing on the basis of capabilities or competing on the basis of superior resource availabilities or ability to leverage those resources, now the first important point in that is what are my key success factors and order winners. Now, it is a very interesting topic in the discussion of manufacturing strategy, and we will have many sessions only on this topic of order winners. But at this point, it is sufficient to understand that in each market in which a company operates, it should identify some of those criteria that will win order against the competitors. You have a particular market A. Now, in this particular market, there are 3 competitors which are providing products to this market A, same product. Now, you are X and Y and J are competitors. Now, you have to identify that in market A, if I produce low cost products, I will be able to win orders against competitor Y and Z. In another market, B is there, again X, you are there, and now in this market 2 competitors are there, these are P and Q, they are the competitors. Now, in this particular market, maybe the superior quality of the product will help you in winning the order. So, for different markets, there will be different type of criteria which will help you to win the orders. So, now as a marketer, as a company, as an organization, you have to understand that in which particular market, if I am serving market A, there will be competitors like Y and Z, and I need to provide low cost products as compared to Y and Z. Like you take an example of Reliance Jio in our case. Now, in Reliance Jio case, already competitors like Airtel, BSNL, Vodafone, Idea, etc. are available in the market. But Indian market, being a cost sensitive market, they offered a very low cost product, almost zero cost product, to enter into the Indian market or to win orders in the Indian market, and we all are witnessing that how Jio got tremendous success in a highly competitive Indian mobile market because of their ability to relate key success factor with the order winner. So, in the order winner in Indian mobile market is the cost. So, therefore, they focused on how to provide low cost to the customer, and that became a very win-win type of situation for Reliance Jio. Now, if Reliance Jio goes to American market or Reliance Jio goes to Japanese market, now in Japanese market there will be some other competitors, Airtel will not be there, BSNL will not be there, some Japanese companies P and Q will be there, but in this particular case they will require very high degree of connectivity, very high degree of service with respect to your mobile services. So, here as X again, as Reliance Jio again, you should not focus on low cost, you need to focus on superior quality if you are serving in a Japanese market. So, that is the important thing, that when I am competing through my manufacturing capabilities, I need to first identify that what are the key success factors and order winners. So, as you move from market to market, your order winners will change. So, that is the first important thing. Now, when I have understood that in different markets there will be different types of order winners. So, now if I want to compete on the basis of manufacturing, I have to align the capabilities of manufacturing with these key success factors, so that these capabilities maximize my competitiveness. The competitiveness of the firm should be enhanced using these alignment of capabilities and the key success factor. Key success factor means the order winner for a particular market and the capability, I need to align them, and if I can align them, I will be able to enhance the competitiveness of my organization. And at the same time, this is one particular thing, that I have to do the alignment of success factor and the capabilities. And at the same time, the second important thing is that continuously I have to be proactive in developing new capabilities. If you are doing something for today, you also need to see that what is going to be future, and what is going to be in future, I need to develop those capabilities in my organization. Now in India, again going back to the mobiles example, now we have 4G connectivity all across the country, and there are companies like Jio and some other companies which have taken the advantage of their superior capabilities. Now if a company which is struggling in the present time of 4G, they should develop their capability for the next generation of change, for 5G. So that is the proactiveness in developing new capabilities, that what will be the future. And if I go to the manufacturing activities, now many companies in India are adopting new technologies, and particularly new technologies related to IT. Most of the organizations are adopting IT related manufacturing activities, lot of automation is taking place. But the future is related to IoT. We are talking of industry 4.0 nowadays. So now once I know that future wave is related to IoT, I need to develop my capabilities, I must be proactive in adopting those newer capabilities. If I will remain reactive, then I will not be able to take the advantage for developing the competitiveness of my organization. In our previous session, we discussed the framework of Hayes and Wheelwright, where they have discussed from reactive to proactiveness. So you can follow, you can go through that concept of reactiveness to proactiveness. Many a times in the manufacturing arena, in the operations field, we are reactive. Once something has developed, others have followed, others have adopted, then I used to adopt this new type of concept. But if I want to compete on the basis of capabilities, I have to be proactive in adopting these new technologies. Then another important thing, when I am competing on the basis of my capabilities, my resources, the concept of shared vision. Unfortunately, many a times the vision related activities are considered to be top management activity, and these visions are not shared with the lower level employees. And as per the current convention, operations employees, supervisors, laborers are considered to be the lower level employees in the organization. So they do not understand what is the vision of their organization. So for that purpose, what is required, that we need to have a very clear articulation of corporate missions and strategies, so that it is easy to transfer, it is easy to tell the lower level employees in the organization that what is the vision of our organization. And you will see that in various business excellence awards like Malcolm Brace and Demings and all those awards, there is a special focus that how you are transferring your corporate level vision to the lower level employees. What is that mechanism you have adopted, what type of workshops you are holding, and what type of other systems you are following, practicing, that your vision is known to each and everyone in your organization. It is not something that is only to be shared among the board of directors, it is to be known by everybody in your organization. So that is one very important thing, and for that purpose you need to have very simple language, clear articulation, no ambiguity, so that everyone can simply understand that what is the right vision of your organization. And it has to be shared by all the managers and employees. Many a times, particularly in India, if I say that the vision related activities are made in English, while your employees may not be so good in understanding the typical English words. So, you need to translate, you need to develop some mechanism that you need to have the local language versions of your visions. It may be Hindi or it may be any other regional language like Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, Gujarati, etc. But unless until your vision is converted into the local languages which are more familiar with the employees of the organization, you cannot have the concept of shared vision. And what is your vision if that is not shared with the employees? It is quite possible that the managers and employees of the organization may go on a different path and your corporate vision is of some other direction. So, it is important that you need to have a shared vision mechanism in your organization. The second important paradigm of manufacturing, which is again very important, that is how to make the choices within manufacturing. And I am saying that these are the strategic choices in manufacturing. Now, first important underlying phenomena in making the choices is that you need to have internal and external consistency. Whenever you are making choices, you need to have this kind of consistency, that what is your external environment desiring and what type of internal capabilities you have. If you have that type of consistency, then it is going to give you the strategic advantage. If you do not have that type of consistency, then strategic advantage is not possible. So, that is the fundamental you can say principle of getting the strategic benefit of your choices. Now, what type of choices we make? We make choices of processes, and choices of processes are governed by the concept of volume versus variety. If you want to produce high volume, you have to sacrifice on the variety, and if you are producing high number of variety, more number of products, then volume of each type of variety will have some kind of trade off. So, one type of choices are related to volume versus variety. The second type of choices are related to market strategy and order winning criteria. What type of market strategy? Whether you want to have cost related, differentiation related, focus related market strategy, and this will be dependent on the order winning criteria. Then infrastructure choices, whether you want to own a facility or you want to outsource a facility, that type of choices you make with respect to infrastructure. And then focus. In a very important article written by Skinner, the title of that article was The Focus Factory, and in that focus factory itself the Skinner mentioned that what is the context and what type of focus of your factory should be. So, you need to make choice with respect to focus of your manufacturing organization, particularly whether the focus is on satisfaction of the customer, whether the focus is on developing high volume, whether the focus is on developing more variety, whether the focus is on regular innovation. So, you need to decide that to the given context and dimension, what should be the focus of your organization. So, these are the various types of strategic choices you will be making in your strategic management. And then the third important manufacturing strategy paradigm is related to best practices. In our last to last session, we discussed the concept of world class manufacturing, and best practices concept is basically derived from the concept of world class manufacturing, or you can say the best practices will take you to world class manufacturing. Now, most of the time the sources of these best practices are Japanese organizations. Toyota, etc. are the primary name whenever we talk of best practices. Toyota Production System is one example of best practice. How they develop the concept of lean, values, Kaizen, Kanban, all these are the examples of best practices. But from other part of the world also we have some of the best practices, and we will be discussing those practices in our coming sessions one by one. The concept of like MRP, material requirement planning, it came from USA. The concept of flexible manufacturing systems came from United Kingdom. The concept of group technology, how to minimize the distance within the plant to have more efficient plants layout point of view, came from Russia. So, these are the some of the other important type of best practices which came from different parts of the world. So, there are other sources other than Japan for the best practices, and we need to see that how do we adopt those best practices, because these best practices also help us in benchmarking. That the best practice of Toyota is giving this rate of rejection. So, can I also achieve that level of acceptance? So, these type of things help us in determining the benchmarking. Now, finally, these things help us to achieve the status of world class manufacturing, and when we are in the stage of world class manufacturing, we are able to use our processes, that is our content part, and the measurement we are able to set our key performance indicator, that what are our key performance indicators which can create synergy between functional and business level objectives. So, you need to have a synergy between functional and business level objectives, targets. So, you need to decide your key performance indicators which can support your idea of capabilities, choices and best practices. Now, if you summarize this whole thing, that if three alternative paradigms we discussed, 1, 2, 3, one is competing through manufacturing, then strategic choices and the best practices, and what are the various key concepts. These are the order winners, capabilities, generic manufacturing strategies, shared vision. Then in case of choices, you have contingency approach, internal and external consistency. We discussed how to decide a particular type of process and what is the focus of your organization. The best practices are related to world class manufacturing, benchmarking, process re-engineering, total quality management, learnings from large number of Japanese organizations and continuous improvement. And the pillar of all these things are how are you designing your processes and what are your indicators, key performance indicators, that is the measurement criteria. If I just see these three alternative paradigms, so you can see that that is one overlapping way to understand these three concepts, that competing through manufacturing, shared choices and best practices. And it is also possible that you can add these type of arrows also, which will show you, which will give you some kind of parity with very popular concept known as PDCA, that it is a kind of cyclic phenomena, that you are competing through manufacturing, and for that purpose you make some kind of strategic choices in your manufacturing, and strategic choices are governed by the best practices you are following. So, this way it becomes a cyclic phenomena, and it also gives you an idea that all three alternative paradigms are not separate, they are quite overlapping in nature. So, though in the front it looks we have three alternative paradigms, so somebody may think that there is no relation between these paradigms, but now we can say that there is lot of overlapping among these three paradigms, and these three paradigms are forcing one another. So, this is a kind of a circular loop which finally emerges in case of implementation of various paradigms for achieving the manufacturing advantage. So, with this we come to end of this session. Thank you very much.